Am I live? Am I live? Yes, I am live. Hi, everybody. How is it going? It's so good to see you. My name is Aya. I'm a business success catalyst. That's just a fancy way of saying that I'm going to help you get to consistent five-figure months in your business. And I really do this for parentpreneurs because, being a parent, you just need some help. You need some help. It's like, whew, what are we doing? Today, I'm really excited because what are we talking about today? Unleashing the power of strategy in your business and parenting. No more shooting in the dark. And so, actually, next week, I want to actually go a deep dive on business strategy in different areas and really kind of talk about the difference between strategy and planning. And I'm super excited to talk about this. I'm just pulling this up on the screen. I really need a producer. Who wants to be my producer? My goodness. Who wants to be my producer? Okay, and my good friend David Ketchen, shout out to David on LinkedIn, David Ketchen on LinkedIn. I had this amazing coffee chat with him, and he was talking to me about strategy, and he was talking to me about the difference between and he gave me this really good person to watch their video on YouTube about the difference between strategy and planning. And that person is Roger Martin. So, who has a book. He's the dean of the Rotman School of Management at the University of Toronto. And he's the author of Playing to Win How Strategy Really Works, which he co wrote with A.G. Lafley, the former chairman and CEO of Procter and Gamble, P&G. Okay. So, I read this book and it was like really life altering, like a lot of light bulbs came off for me. And thank you, David. Shout out to David. Thank you, David, so much for even just bringing this to my awareness. And I think, and as a result of it, I've just kind of gotten obsessed with it and really want to do like a deep dive on strategy next week. But today I just kind of want to get our little feet wet, get our feet wet, and kind of just shift our mindset about our businesses, shift our mindset about our businesses, our parenting, our lives, and get our strategy down, right? And this is so important because what is this? We're entering into a new year. So I'm on the Hebrew calendar. What does that mean? I'm about to just get a little over the top here with you. I'm on the Hebrew calendar, and that calendar, the new year starts on Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah is the head of the new year, and it changes, right? Because the Hebrew calendar is based on the moon cycle. It's based on the moon cycle essentially. And so the head of the new year is usually around September, anywhere from the beginning of September to like first couple of weeks of October. So that's when my new year starts, right? So for me personally, that's kind of how I see the new year. So by January, I'm already like in my new year. But yes, the it's called the Gregorian calendar. The Gregorian calendar that we all use now is we're coming to the end of the year, and January is the beginning of the year. So now, if you think about businesses and large corporations, due to accounting and stuff like that, people's fiscal years are usually, major companies' fiscal years are usually not the same as the calendar year. But so that's kind of, I don't know, that I just really want to share that. But generally speaking, generally speaking, most people, we have been conditioned. January is the beginning of the year, and we want to try new things. We want to do something different, and we measure our life in years, right? We measure our life in year, like, man, that was a good year, that was a tough year, this many years old, this happened 2020, so we measure our life in years. And so I want 2023 to be the year of strategy for you. So I want to really break down strategy for the next week. And really, I just wanted to kind of give you a little tip. I really want you to check out Roger Martin. You can watch his YouTube videos. I think under this, I'll try to include the link. I want you to check it out. No, seriously, if you're watching me right now, that's a blessing. And so if you're watching me, I'm excited and I want you to win. So if you're watching me, I want you to win. I want your family to win. I want you to make more than enough money, generate income, be an entrepreneur, create solutions, take care of your babies, be available for your children, be mentally and physically and emotionally available to your children so you can be there for them, and so on and so forth. So I want you to win. So it's rare that I'm like, go read this or go look at this, but that's because I want to prep you to get where you need to go. So Roger Martin, his book is called Playing to Win How Strategy Really Works. And I want us to start thinking more strategically when it comes to our businesses. I want us to start. Okay, so let's go for it. Let's start. So Solomon says strategy needed in every facet of our lives. Absolutely. Okay, so my lives are free for you to join. Like, I welcome you to join. So my lives, you can come on in. Let me actually put the link in LinkedIn. My lives, you can come on in and chat with me, talk with me. Like, I love it. And I'll give you the link. Uh, Hold on one second. So I'll post the link in here for you to be able to come on, because it's so much more fun if you can come on and you can talk to me, like, we can talk about it. So that's obviously awesome. Okay, so I really want you to win, and I really want us to start thinking more strategically. And what I learned about strategy from Roger Martin, that strategy is not planning. So everyone's talking about planning, 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 but strategy is not the same thing as planning. And it was just like whoosh, whoosh. It was like whoosh. Oh my gosh, I felt like my mind was blown when I was reading this, and kind of, man, shout out to David. I'm telling you, your network is where all your gems are, all your pearls, right? So, I want to start calling you guys my pearls, Pearl Nation. What's up? Because I have a obsession with pearls and I'll go into that another time, but man, your pearls, there's so many pearls in your network. So strategy. So let's kind of talk a little bit about, first of all, do you have a strategy in your business? So if you have a business right now, I want you to come with me onto the studio so we can talk about your business strategy. We can talk about your business strategy, talk about what you're doing. But I will like to say that most people don't have a strategy. And so let's talk about, what does strategy mean? What is the definition of strategy? Let me tell you, strategy is a plan of action or policy designed to achieve a major or overall aim, right? Strategy, another one is the science. This is kind of a deep one. The science and art of employing the political, economic, psychological, and military forces of a nation or group of nations to afford the maximum support to adopted policies in peace or war. Oh my gosh. A careful plan or method, an adaptation or complex of adaptations that serves or appears to serve an important function in achieving evolutionary success. So strategy is, but just to just make it plain, strategy is all about, what is the bigger picture for you, and what are you trying to get done? Like, what is the aim? How are you going to win? What is the big plan? What is the goal, right? And many people don't live like that. Because for a lot of different reasons, maybe we're struggling, maybe we don't know how to live like that. We don't think in ahead. Some of us have limiting belief systems, so we have a self-limited belief system. So we don't think that we don't even allow ourselves to really think big. We don't even allow ourselves to be like, man, okay. And let me tell you, having a revenue goal is not strategy. Okay. Having a revenue goal is not being like, oh, I want to make $1 million a month is not strategy. All right. That's a nice goal, but that's not strategy. That is like just a desire, wanting to make $1 million a month, which is a great desire. There's nothing wrong with that, but that is not strategy. So high level strategy is like, what is it that you're trying to do in your life, right? So let's think about a company like Apple. Like, what is Apple's strategy? They want us to think differently, right? Let's talk about planes. So Roger Martin gives a lot of examples about the difference between strategies and planning, and I just thought they were so brilliant. So let's talk about Southwest. So in the U.S., there's an airline called Southwest Airlines, and when they came out, like Southwest came out, they were like random, this little tiny airline company somewhere randomly in Texas. They were not anything on nobody even knew who they were. But they are now like one of the dominant airlines, and they are so unique. Southwest is so unique. That's what I love about strategy. Southwest is so unique. They do their own thing. They're not like other airlines. But what was their strategy was, we want to do airplane differently. And in comparison to their competitors were just planning. They were just like doing operational planning. But they were like, this is who we are. This is what we see of ourselves in the marketplace. This is what we want to be known for. How can we make this work? Right? It's almost like the effective steps of highly effective, the 7 steps of highly effective people, 7 habits. It's like beginning with the end in mind. Then he had this other example of Four Seasons that I thought was phenomenal. So Four Seasons is a luxury hotel, and it's global. And Four Seasons is a lot of people's favorite. But why? So other luxury hotels, they tend to focus on grandeur, luxury, their employees just being like, whatever you want, sir and ma'am. And so it's all about luxury and everything else. But Four Seasons, it's about luxury, but it's about, they decided that they wanted people to feel more like home, because maybe the people in their hotels, they are, it's like clinical almost, like, it's nice to look at, but it doesn't feel homey. It doesn't feel homey, right? And so he talks about how their stand was, we want to make people feel like they're at home. So they have a totally different process in how they present their hotels. And it was just so interesting because do you know how many people I know that specifically have said to me, Four Seasons is my favorite hotel? Like, for real. Like, I mean, I rarely hear people say that. I mean, I don't want to say I rarely hear people say that, but the amount of times I hear Four Seasons is like so interesting to me. And one of the things he talks about in terms of strategy is that strategy is based on a theory, is based on you sitting down thinking about something and based on a theory and wondering like, and I love this because he's like, you don't know if it's going to work. How many, raise your hand if you want a guarantee, raise your hand. Tell me in the comments if you want a guarantee. Tell me in the comments if you want a guarantee, you want guarantees. You're like, I need a guarantee. Can you give me a guarantee? Exactly. But sometimes that feeling of wanting a guarantee, and listen, I'm right there too, right? I want a guarantee. I'm like, guarantee me this, please. Guarantee me this. But sometimes the reality of wanting a guarantee is like, it stifles creativity. It stifles you going out there and doing something different. And, where can you see this the most? You can see this the most in social media. Like, you will see all of these conversations about how to present, what to do. These are all tactics. They're not strategies. They're tactics, right? And then everyone is like, okay, I'm going to do that. Okay, well, I'm going to do this. Okay, well, I'm going to do that. And it's like, well, why are you doing that? And it's not like, it's just like, well, why are you doing that? Like, why are you doing that? No, seriously, like, why are you doing that? And it's like, well, I want more engagement, or I want more this, or I want more that. But for what? You want more engagement to do what? You want more clients to do what? You want more money to do what? Let's push ourselves. Let's push. Let's push. Let's push. You might say, what's your strategy? Listen, what is it's so it's like, what is my strategy? What is my purpose? Like, why do I do this part of my business? Because I know what it's like to be a hands-on parent, and you're building your business, and I know the pain points. You don't have a lot of time. You have you're making daily decisions that are impacting your children for the rest of their lives, and you need to make this money. And it's even more heightened if you're a solo parent, because you're not in a tag team, and all of this. There's a lot going on. So I wanted to be a voice for parents in the entrepreneurial landscape. That's what I want. I want to be a voice for parents. I want parents to also be able to shape the entrepreneurial landscape, to shape the entrepreneurial conversation, to be thought leaders. And so, because hopefully that would mean we're not going to keep hearing like work 18 hours a day, or, we're not going to keep hearing things that are almost inhumane, in my opinion, right? We're going to blame people for not wanting to go home, or make people feel bad, or I don't know, like, no, I want to hang out with my babies. I got 2 baby girls. They be cracking me up. They want to watch Jungle Book. They want to go places. I need to spend time with my children, right? I need to be with them, but I also need to make some money, right? And I want to do it through the vehicle of entrepreneurship, right? So I need my voice to be heard. I want parents' voices to be heard. That is my desire, right? And I want us to impact the way business is done. Now, as a result of that, what is my strategy? How am I going to implement that in my business? All right, so Solomon is here. We love Solomon. I wish I had like sound effects. We love Solomon. Solomon is here. Let's bring him on. I do. I wish I had sound. I wish I had like, sound effects, but the camera just a little bit over here. Okay, it's because I'm looking at the stream now. So happy you have us here with us. I saw you in the comments saying you're like, I want to guarantee. You want to guarantee?
I want to guarantee it, absolutely.
Talk to us about that. Is that even possible? How are you going to get a guarantee?
Well, first of all, I think this is a great topic, and it's great because one of the things you said, which I thought was really spot on, is having the goal is not a strategy, right? Having the goal is the beginning of the strategy. It's like the genesis of the strategy. You set the goal and then you figure out. So I really love that distinction, having the goal, because some people think, oh, my strategy is, yeah, like it's I want more customers, more whatever. But it's really, really great that you brought that up, because yes, it's just a beginning, but you have to now put in place a plan and the way to get there. The way to get there.
Okay, so exactly. So, but actually, so strategy is different from planning. And that's what I love about this book. Roger Martin really blew my mind because he's talking about planning, not planning the way to get there is not strategy. Planning the way to get, like, the way you're going to unfold how you're doing something is not strategy.
Mhm.
And that's what was like whoosh. It was like, oh my gosh, like, so what do you mean? He's like, so many people are talking about planning, but they're not talking strategically. And so he said so many people are doing business as usual, and he gives a lot of examples in his book, and we're going to go deeper on this next week, guys, because it's so good, it's so good, it's so good, and it's my gift to you. It's my gift to you for 2023. Everyone's got a gift for you. I come on live every day, Monday through Friday. Well, Thursdays I have an audio event on LinkedIn, so sometimes it's a little much for me to go live in the morning too, but I do go live every day. But on Thursdays we do an audio event. So on LinkedIn. So if you want to come, you can talk to us, come to the audio event. But anyway, but Monday through Friday I go live, and I usually do video. And I go live to talk to you guys about your business, to talk to you guys about your parenting, to talk to you guys and share with you things that I know will help you revolutionize your business. Because one of the things that I'm so strong about is like, man, you need to do multiple things well in your business for it to be sustainable and profitable. Not just one thing. There is no magic bullet. And so that's why entrepreneurship is difficult. One of the ways that it's different from being an employee, because usually when you're an employee, they're asking you to do one thing or just focus on one thing. So if you're an HR employee, that's wonderful. If you're an HR employee, you're not selling anybody. If you're in sales, that's wonderful, but you're not actually, you're not delivering the service or the product. If you're a designer or an engineer, that's wonderful, but you're not selling it. You're not. So usually the thing about being an employee that's really fine, there's nothing wrong with it, is you only working on one thing. But the thing about entrepreneurship and running a business is that you can't just do one thing. The business requires a lot of things to be done. And if you're going to be being a solopreneur, or you're going to be um, having a small business, having a team, excellent, you have to understand that. It doesn't mean you have to do everything, because it's impossible to do everything. So that's not my point. But there are some fundamental things that you need to be aware of, you need to know how to do, and you need to be doing daily to ensure that your business survives, right? And not just survives, but thrives. So I love what you said, Solomon. I love what you said so much. I was about to call Solomon something else. Anyway, I love what you said, because that is what he's distinguishing. He's like, planning how to do something or working on operational systems or working on how to get something done is not the same thing as strategic planning. So this coming week, we're going to talk about it. But one of the things that he said, that's why I started the conversation with thinking about guarantees. One of the things that he said that was so interesting, he's like, a strategy is not like, how would you know if it's going to work? He said, everyone wants to know if it's going to work before you do it. He's like, you cannot. You cannot know that it's going to work before you do it. What do you think about that, Solomon?
No, I think I think that's very true. And why do I think that? I listen. I'm gonna go in this route. I am a Christian, so I believe in taking steps of faith. Okay, so and steps of faith in everything you're doing is meaning you don't really know exactly how it's going to pan out, but you have this belief that there's that goal, and you believe that as you follow the steps or whatever it is you put in place, you will get there. And the desires that you have, you will achieve them. So that's where I think, yes, you don't really know how it's going to pan out. But I think one of the things that, let me go back a little bit and talk about what and you may, correct me based on the book, but maybe what strategy is putting in place the plan. But so let's take Apple and Android, the iOS versus Android, right? um, Android has a bigger global market share, and iOS in terms of people using it. But when you talk about the money, the actual sales and the valuation of the companies, Apple tips the scale the other way. And that's where I think because they have a certain strategy, the strategy is provide a certain quality of product or simplification of the applications and stuff like that. So anyway, that's where I think that having that kind of strategy helps you achieve the goal that you've set for yourself. And I think their goal is not necessarily to have the bigger market share, but have the bigger chunk of the money pie. I don't know if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense.
Yes, yes. So definitely. So strategy is definitely, I mean, so this week we're going to really, next week we're going to really go a deep dive on another way that he likes to play it is how do you want to win? How do you want to win? Sometimes when we think about our planning is just about how we are getting something done. Everything has to get done. So that's why I love his differentiation between planning and strategy. Because of course everything has to get done, but that's not the strategy. You can be planning, your vacation, but that's not a strategy for like what is the strategy of your life? What is the strategy of your best? What is the strategy of being a parent? Many parents just parent. Their main focus is okay. Are you clothed? Check. Do you have shoes? Did I feed you today? Am I taking you to school? What am I buying you for Christmas? So this is not a critique on parents. I actually really love parents. So this is not a critique on parents, but this is, if you ask many parents, what do you want to pass on to your children? What is the legacy you want to give to them? What would you want to be known by for them? Like when they think of you as an adult, what would you want them to think about? Many parents have not thought that all the way through. They have not thought that all the way through because maybe they're busy being, like the day to day of parenting, the day to day of the minutia of parenting sometimes can crush any type of lofty thinking that you have. You're like, man, I'm just trying to get you to bed. Like let's get you to bed, right? But so what is your strategy as a parent? How do you want to win as a parent? How do you want to win in your business? So for example, so my strategy as a parent is there's many things that my parents care about that I don't care about. I don't care if children go to college. I'm not here conditioning them to go to college. I don't care if my children get married young, medium, old, have kids, don't have kids. Like that, those are not I don't really care about that. I don't care how they dress. How they choose to live their life as adults is completely their choice. But what I do care about, my strategy for them is I want them to be a couple of things. The first thing is I want them to have a relationship with the Creator through their Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And I want to model that for them because no matter what paths that they choose in life, I believe that if they know inside their heart that they're loved by God and that they can pray and that they can live their life and being led by the Spirit of love, the Spirit of God, then I'm good. I'm good. I don't care if you went to college at the Ivy League. Like some parents are really like that's the goal. Like, are you gonna be a doctor? Like that's just not my goal. That's not my strategy. My second strategy is for them to be as women self-sufficient and self-loving. because I don't want them relying on anyone, a man, a woman. I want them to understand that they have the power to do whatever they need to do. They can go wherever they need to go. They are their own superhero, like, period. And so I want their value, high self-worth. So that is my strategy. Those are things that drive me as a parent. And sometimes it's easier for me to like just go with the flow, but I have to tell myself that's not at the end of the day. And even sometimes my children will respond to me in certain ways that make me maybe sometimes rethink my strategy. But I'm like, no, I've thought about this. I've prayed about this. This is what I want for you. This is what I want for you. And so as a result of that, when you think about me, this is what you're going to think of. I know what I want you to think of when you think about me. And then of course, I'm sure you'll have your own thoughts as well. So that's what I'm talking about. What is your parenting strategy? What do you like? Do people have a parenting strategy? And that's the difference between planning. Like, I can plan my day with them. Okay, we wake up at 6:30. Okay, we do this. Okay, we go here. Okay, we're doing this. Okay, they need lunch. Okay. But what is the strategy for me to get them to win, which is how can I find ways to influence them to be self-loving, have high self-worth, to be independent, self-sufficient, and to have a relationship with God? How can I put that in there? So, what's your parenting strategy, Solomon?
That's a good question. Well, a lot of the things you said, I think important too. One of the things is I've told my boys. I have two boys, so I've done my best to raise them to know God. They know that I've done my best to let them know that I love them. Every decision I've made. So I would say that was one of the strategies, is to give them, point certain things out to them, um, love them the best way I know how. I also, picked up. I mean, I was actually raised in Africa, by African parents. So, child training is kind of different there than here. So I had I should say maybe the benefit of having that kind of training, but I also know there are certain things there are certain parenting styles that they implemented that I am not implementing, because I think that's not what is good for my boys, right? So I think a lot of the things you said I kind of align, as a strategy as well. My One of my strategies is also giving them the best that I can give them, academically, pushing them. I don't push them into things that they don't seem interested. For instance, uh, I did my best to expose them. I'm not even fully done, but I try to expose them to many things, right? I mean, they are teenagers now, so but I expose them to many things. And I wouldn't, for instance, the oldest, I expose him to learning to play the piano, musical instruments. I did all those things, but I realized, okay, we're wasting money here. He's not interested. you know did some sports. Oh, he's not interested. That kind of thing. So I gave them the option to choose. I don't push them. I would I will give the exposure, but I will not push it down your throat. You have to make the choice. And we will discuss it extensively, that, you know, I think this is good based on this, and that. But, it's your choice. And I will support you and push you as far as you want to go. So, in simple terms, I would say that's the strategy. I can go deeper and deeper, but I don't know how long you want us to go.
So that's interesting too, right? So you heard, Solomon's parental strategy. And so I really want to leave you guys with this, because we're approaching the half-hour mark. I want to leave you guys with this, that planning is not the same thing as strategy. And tactics, individual tactics, is not the same thing as strategy. So you have to have a strategy in different areas of your business. So next week we're going to talk about, what is your marketing strategy? What is your sales strategy? What is your strategic alliance? Like, how are you building up alliances? What is your networking strategy? What is your strategy to increase your revenue and profits? So we're going to talk about all, what is your strategy continuing to get better at whatever service that you offer? Like what, how, you have to have a strategy to even also be getting better. Right. And what I love about one of the things that Roger Martin said, and I think I wrote this down somewhere, but he was saying like strategy, let me see if he was saying that strategy is what you choosing to do some things and not others, and why. Because we cannot do everything. So even what is your strategy as a business owner? Because we cannot do everything. What are you choosing to do? What are you choosing not to do? And are these things pushing you closer to how you think you want to win and how you can give yourself the differentiation in the marketplace? Because we've talked about this on this program before. The marketplace, the capitalistic marketplace is designed for your prices to go down, right? That's
Yeah.
just a fact. So it's designed to, economics and all that kind of stuff. Like you have all these people in the marketplace. They're, competing against each other. Competition brings out innovation, brings out this, but it also lowers and less money. And you could see this even in flights, how it was to fly. Listen, you can even see this in private jets, like the private jet industry, flying in private jets and private planes. It is like they're like the private plane prices are so much more affordable. Like I can get on a private plane now for $700 to go over here, whereas before it might have been $5,000. And so now they have an issue because it's not the luxury status that it used to be of the elite rich, the super rich. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting?
That's
Because the
very interesting.
marketplace is designed to bring prices down. Okay. Now, so as a result of that, you have to find your differentiator in the marketplace where you can have some price elasticity, right? Because everyone wants to charge these high, like everyone feel. I find people fall into two prices. I mean, two arenas. They either fall into they're not charging enough. They're just not charging enough. They're not charging enough, and that's stress and drama in its own right. Or they're charging so much, and it's not clear. There's no rhyme or reason for that. They don't have the cachet to do that. So you got to build your cachet. And really honestly, entrepreneurs, really honestly, parentpreneurs, all of you parentpreneurs, listen to me right now. Any aspiring entrepreneur, anybody right now, whoever you are listening to me, if you listen to me live right now, or if you listen to me on the replay, you need to have a strategy for 2023 to how to differentiate yourself. You need to have a strategy how can you maximize yourself? How can you win? What's your strategy for you to win? If you're looking for a job, how are you going to differentiate yourself from everyone else looking for a job? If you're in an industry, how are you going to differentiate yourself from everybody else in the industry? If you're a parent, how are you and your family going to differentiate yourself? There's all kinds of ways to differentiate yourself based on your heart. There's people I follow on LinkedIn that are very into sustainable living, and I love that. And that's their differentiator. My differentiator in the marketplace, honestly, is because I really focus on parents. And I really focus on parents with children under 12 and under, because it's just a very unique experience, a unique time. If my children are 30 and 35, yes, I'm still a parent, but they're not impacting my daily life. you know, if my children are 20, they're not impacting my daily life. If my children are 16, 18, they're not, it's different than how they are impacting my daily life at 4 and 6. So, you need to have a plan for yourself, which brings me into I'm launching this program in January. And I really want you to start because I want to build a digital product. So I want to build a digital product, but I want to build a digital product that delivers. And I want to really teach people how to unleash their strategy for their own personal brand and to learn how to monetize it and to just start thinking bigger, because that's really the issue. I mean, execution is very important. So if you don't execute, you're not going to get anything. But I feel like that's obvious. I feel like the reason why people don't execute is because they just don't, their thinking is, it's like It's a thinking issue, in my opinion. So I want you to join my cohort. I want you to join my team. And because it's like I'm launching it, and because it is a cohort thing and it's a new thing, I want people to really track with me. So I'm only really looking for 5 people. I can only do 5 people, and I really want us to grow so I can learn certain things from these people, and I can create an amazing digital product. So this is a really great time to work with me. Like, it's gonna be like ultra interesting pricing, like, because it's going to be the group setting, but we're going to really work together to help you unleash your 2023 strategy. Okay, so Johanna says strategy is key. I like your luxury flight example. Relates to our buying art is a luxury. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Buying art is a luxury, and so so you already know. So thank you, Johanna, for your comments, because this brings me, let me say this, and then we'll come back next week. Come back with me live if you want to jump in the studio, watch the replay, follow me. You can catch me on YouTube at Ayegbuho, like that's my handle, at Ayegbuho. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and really watch these videos. I mean, I put my my heart into these videos. My heart is in these videos, and I want it to work for you guys. So please, please, please come back next week. But exactly, because so if you understand that art is a luxury, or you understand that even the idea of buying art, whether you're, whatever, there's a spectrum of buying art. There's people who can buy Picassos, and then there's people who's buying something from art.com, and there's people who are buying like prints, and you have to really, so what is your strategy to get, how do you win? How do you win? What is your strategy? How do you win in that? Because who are you positioning yourself when it comes to selling art? Because at the end of the day, if you don't have a strategy about who you're selling your art to and what that looks like for you to win, or the luxury flight example, whatever, then how are you going to break through the noise? Because it's not 100% of people buying art. Maybe it's 10% of people buying art. So how are you going to break through those 10% of people? What is going to be your differentiator for those 10% that they will pick your art over someone else's art, or they will go with you over someone else, right? They will connect with you. So listen, come on, Holy Ghost. I'm feeling the Holy Ghost up in here. We need to unleash our strategy. We need to unleash listen, next week I'm going deep. I'm gonna teach you how to unleash. We're going deep in all these different aspects, and you need to learn to unleash your strategy for your own self, for your life. How are you going to win in your life? And what does that look like for you? And if you haven't thought about what winning looks like in your life to you, let me tell you this. Please don't think it looks like Elon Musk. Please don't think it looks like all these influencers. Please let that go. It looks like what it is for you. Follow your heart. I cannot say this enough. We are so conditioned to want what we see, and we don't even want that. Like, really, like, and you know how I know? Because I'm a coach, and I have so many coaches up my butt. Like, I'm telling you, I have people kicking my butt, and they're like, you should have your coaching business like this, and you should do this, and you should do this, and you should do this. They don't understand. That's not why I coach. Like, I can have other automated businesses. When I coach one-on-one with people, that's a heart connection. So I don't want to do it like that. That's I'm not trading when I do trade my time for money, I'm okay with that. I don't want to live a life where I don't ever trade my time for money. I just think you need to diversify. Now, saying all that is to say, like, come with me and we're going to go on that. And that's my gift to you. That's my Christmas gift to you. I celebrate Christmas. Merry Christmas. I celebrate Kwanzaa and Hanukkah. I celebrate Hanukkah, Christmas, and Kwanzaa. Did you know that? And New Year's Eve. Anything else in there? I celebrate everything, but Christmas is my favorite. So that's my Christmas present to you. My Christmas present to you is helping you to next week really do a deep dive on strategy on these, and hopefully you'll join me on my cohort. I hope you will join me on my cohort. That's my hope. If you like this, DM me. Tell me what you liked about it. Hit my DMs. Slide into my DMs and tell me what's up, because I want to know. I want to get feedback, and I'm here for you. So I'm here for you. I want you to tell me, like, what is it that you need? If you guys have any ideas for what you want me to talk about as it pertains to business and parenting, let me know. Let's talk about it. And I'm so happy that you guys have been with me. Solomon, I'm so happy that you have always come through. Thank you for always coming through. Solomon is one of my favorite people on the planet. Like I just love him. He's an international treasure. He's like the Rosetta Stone. He's a treasure. So I appreciate him so much. I love you guys. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I love you guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. And if you need me to coach with me, let me know, DM me and all that stuff. You have anything to say, Solomon?
No, I'm good. I think this was a great session. Thank you. And I look forward to all the gems on strategies and stuff like that. So thank you.
All right. Bye.